Hello everyone, my name is Awesome Montana and you're listening to the Awesome Montana Show. Today we're going to be talking about some more COVID. This news article is published I think a couple months ago, but I think that it's still a very, very hot topic that's still going on, and especially New York and all the other states in the US are still wanting to wear a mask, but we will see what happens in some other parts of the US. But my first video, when will COVID end, got 26 views now. I'm really glad. Thank you so much for the views. I'm probably going to be doing a series of entirely COVID because everyone listens to COVID a lot. So without further ado, let's get into it. So today's article is in Apple News. This is called Early Omicron Infection Unlikely to Protect Against Current Variants. This is by Nancy Lapid. This is in Apple News again. So this is written in New York. It says New York Reuters. And so yeah, without further ado, let's begin. People infected with the earliest version of the Omicron variant of the coronavirus first identified in South Africa in November may be vulnerable to reinfection with later versions of Omicron, even if they have been vaccinated and boosted, new findings suggest. Vaccinated patients with Omicron BA. 1. Breakthrough infections developed antibodies that could neutralize the virus plus the original SARS-CoV-2 virus, but the Omicron sublimages circulating how those mutations allow them to evade those antibodies, researchers from China reported on Friday in Nature. Omicron BA2 12.1, which is presently causing most infections in the United States, and Omicron BA5 and BA4, which is now account for more than 21% of the new US cases, contain mutations not present in the BA1 and BA2 versions of Omicron. So there are multiple versions of Omicron: BA1, BA2, BA3, BA4, BA5, which is completely different from each other. Now, even though I'm the podcaster here, I'm really confused, and maybe you guys are confused as well, but I'm going to keep reading on because there's multiple variants, and these doctors that have been helping the patients and helping giving up the vaccine shots, they know the difference between these variants. But personally, from what I've seen, these variants sound and look very similar to each other. Those newer sublineages notably evade the neutralizing antibodies elicited by SARS-CoV-2 infection and vaccination, COVID-19, the researchers found in test tube experiments. The monoclonal antibody drugs bebtelovimab from Eli Lilly and silgavimab, a component of AstraZeneca's Evusheld, can still effectively neutralize BA2, 12.1, and BA4, BA5, the experiments also showed. But vaccine boosters based on the BA1 virus, such as those in development by Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna, may not achieve broad-spectrum protection against new Omicron variants, the researchers warned. Previous research has not yet undergone peer review has suggested that vaccinated people affected with Omicron are likely to develop immune responses that will protect them against other variants of the coronavirus. My personal bias is that while there may be some advantage to having an Omicron-specific vaccine, I think it will be a marginal benefit over staying current with the existing vaccines and boosters, said Dr. Onyema Obagu, and the infectious diseases researcher at Yale School of Medicine in New Haven, Connecticut, who was not involved in the same study. So again, let's recap. So we have people infected with Omicron are unlikely to develop immune responses that will protect them against other variants of the coronaviruses. So the question has been answered. So the question was, early Omicron infection unlikely to protect against current variants? So the question for today is, will people that get Omicron be protected or have antibodies that will prevent them from getting other variants? Which is no. The answer is no, because on the bottom it says previous research suggests it has not undergone peer review that suggests that unvaccinated people infected with Omicron are unlikely to develop immune responses that would protect them against other variants of the coronavirus. So it says unvaccinated people. Now, obviously, if you do get the vaccine, these people, the CDC, Centers of Disease Control, have been trying their best to make sure that none of us get COVID again. So I haven't vaccinated with COVID, and I think I managed to get COVID even though I got vaccinated. But most people that do get vaccinated, they don't get COVID. And now this time it says unvaccinated people infected with Omicron. So maybe if you are vaccinated, you have a very lesser chance of getting Omicron again, or maybe getting the other variants. But right now it says that you are unlikely to be protected if you are unvaccinated. Despite immune evasion, the expectation can be that vaccines will still protect against serious disease, Obagu said. If you're due for a booster, get a booster. What we learned clinically is that it's most important to stay up to date with vaccines to maintain high levels of COVID-19 antibodies circulating in the blood. So as you can see, on vaccinations, you cannot get rid of Omicron that easily, even though you get vaccines. you can get rid of them, but it's hard. Like, if you're unvaccinated, it's way worse, so it's better for you to get another booster shot. Anybody, even adults, but we haven't gotten any information on teenagers or children to get booster shots, but we have information for adults, such as maybe around like 18 plus to get booster shots, which I highly recommend that if you're an adult listening to my podcast, I highly suggest that you get your booster shot as quickly as you can. So then, and also the booster shots are free, they're not paid, so if you get your shots, then that will be amazing. And so yeah, I really hope that everyone stays safe out there from the COVID variant. I really hope everyone stays outside for anything else out there. And also, if you're in Ukraine or you're watching this episode from wherever in the world, I hope everyone stays safe, and thank you so much for listening. My name is Asa Montana. This is the Asa Montana Show.